Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going In Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going In Raw. We also offer the Steve and Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson or go to patreon.com/Steve and Larson to sign up. Hey, Friendo, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. It's Friday night. That means we're going to review WWE Smackdown.
Yeah.
Before that, we've got some info about the final boss. Oh, man, what a WrestleMania match we're lining up for. WrestleMania 41's coming up, and The Rock. Can't wait to see him in that main event, Lars. Trouble?
Pump the brakes on that.
Trouble on the island of relevancy, perhaps.
Pump the brakes. So, this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer stated that sources have
what is that clarification body language there?
Well, I mean, look at Dave's track record of late, so it's
all right. Well, let's just see what he says, and then we'll
if Shane shows up tomorrow.
Oh boy.
So
gonna be some
anyways,
questions.
Let's put it out there. If there's caveats, we got to include the caveats here.
All right, proceed.
This news is included for sake of discussion.
Okay.
Anyways, Dave says sources have informed him that Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, despite making an appearance just this last weekend at Bad Blood Premium Live Event, is not currently scheduled for a match at WrestleMania 41. This is what Dave had to say. Quote, as of right now, Dwayne Johnson is not scheduled for the show. Obviously, that could change, and he's going to do what he wants all the time. Nobody can say it publicly. Some with old school mentalities didn't like the idea that he stole the show, and it's not building to a match. I see he's talking about Bad Blood. He's not going to be able to do Mania. He already gave word that he wouldn't be able to do that match, a source said, when asked about Rock versus Reigns versus Rhodes. Rock came out with the People's Belt that the widow of Muhammad Ali gave him at the Hall of Fame. There was no specific reason given past. We were told that different reasons were given to different people.
What?
No specific reason, but different reasons. Okay. What we do know is that Dwayne Johnson, when it comes to this, is either going to be all in, meaning a full training camp to get in the best wrestling shape and cosmetic shape he can get in, or not in. The story is simply his schedule got too heavy. He couldn't commit to doing it right. So, Dave continues. Another person who would be intricately involved in the top of the card program said that he has no idea about anything. These things are largely kept secret from the talent because it's noted last year the plan for Rock versus Reigns, the headline Mania, was being negotiated through December and agreed to in early January. However, Rhodes had been told he was facing Reigns in the main event for months. From talent close to him, they believed he was officially first told around October. I think it was in the behind-the-scenes Mania documentary or something where Triple H said in October they started locking in Mania plans.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dave continues. He was not told differently until the day of the Rumble, and he was told he was winning the Rumble but not facing Reigns at Mania, not tell anyone to go out and act like he was. Almost nobody knew what the plan was until the angle was shot on the following SmackDown. The reaction online to that angle led to Rhodes versus Reigns happening.
So a lot of unanswered questions, regardless of whatever the behind the scenes, he was made fun of so much for, his role in the behind the scenes documentary. I mean, it was a meme for months after that. Him saying that it was all his idea to do it the way it went down.
Yeah.
So there's still unanswered questions about the political power of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Do you think it's coincidental? Number one, do you think it's coincidental? Look, here's my thing about David Meltzer, right? I don't necessarily think that he gets it wrong because he makes up stuff. I don't believe that for a second. I think that there's something just wonky about his sources. I don't think he makes stuff up. I just think that he doesn't exactly adhere to the strictest of journalistic, guidelines when reporting on stuff. That's my own belief. That's my supposition, because there are plenty of things that he has gotten kind of wrong over, the last year or so. This feels so much like it's one of those things where I don't know if The Rock is trying to play for leverage or if he's trying, which basically means He's trying to politic to get whatever it is he wants.
He wants to win, Steve. He wants to win the title.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I don't think it's a bad idea, but I did a whole Wrestle Juice video on that today, and my comments disagreed thoroughly with me. But, yeah, I mean, it seems, we had talked about this in the lead up to the last WrestleMania, how it seemed like he wanted to win back at WrestleMania 39.
Yeah.
There were discussions between him, Nick Khan, and Vince McMahon about coming in. And he was like, it would have been the first of a longer story, and we just couldn't put it together in the end. And it just sort of the subtext seemed to be that he felt it best to win the championship.
Yeah, yeah.
In this case, man, I don't know, but this right here just sounds like there might be some games being played.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it's a situation where maybe someone from within WWE is getting this out there, I don't see the upside to that from a corporate standpoint. If The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania, you don't want to dispel the idea that he's not going to be there because him at Mania gets fans excited. So at a corporate level, you're getting it out to the dirt sheets, oh, Rock's not going to be there. I don't see the upside in that unless they got some huge surprise, whatever that might be. That's only going to happen if there's doubt in people's mind, or only can happen if there's doubts in people's mind. The Rock's going to be there. Again, I don't know what that is, but I don't see any upside from anybody in a sort of somewhat off the record official capacity in WWE getting it out to Meltzer. Oh, Rock's the prime. It seems like he's not going to be there. That doesn't make sense.
I mean, we've seen them do their best to look. It's a tradition that goes back a really long way. Many people, affiliated with WWE in the past have said, there were efforts to try to work the dirt sheets, I guess, over like the last decades. This is nothing new.
No.
The surprise element, I think, can't be underestimated as one reason to do it, but the timing is so weird. Yeah. And when I say weird, I mean it's the issue of Wrestling Observer Newsletter that is literally reviewing Bad Blood, where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made his return, and in that issue, he's saying he's not going to be at WrestleMania.
And also, it was about a year ago where plans for WrestleMania 40 started to really take shape. Apparently, here we are a year later. You would think the time frame probably comparable in terms of getting things locked in for WrestleMania. And then this gets out there.
Yeah. Here's my thing about the excuse for being too busy. They paid him like $30 million.
You'd think if he was going to do the match last year, it was going to be with an idea, all right, this is what we're going to do going forward.
$30 million should not get you 1 year of WrestleMania. Like that, to me, that's money that it's like, I mean, I know that he could get that. Like, I don't know what he got paid for Black Adam, but it was probably in the vicinity of $20 million to $30 million. Maybe it was 20 with points, which I don't know if he ever would have gotten any points on that
between
movie.
How poorly the movie did and the Hollywood accounting, probably not.
Yeah, right, exactly. But you would think that $30 million would get you a bit more of a commitment than, oh, I'm too busy to do your silly WrestleMania show in April. No, we paid you $30 million. And that's my thing is like, I don't know exactly nobody I don't think knows exactly what the terms of the deal is. Was that $30 million basically to lend his star power to the beginning of the TKO deal? Was it, in addition to and wrapped up in all that 2 nights of WrestleMania, 1 night, 2 nights, I mean 1 match, but 2 nights of WrestleMania and of course the build. I don't know, like if taken completely on face value, which I don't think you can do here, that's a bummer if he's not going to be there for the build to WrestleMania because he was so goddamn entertaining. Yeah. And the stuff between him and Cody really should lend itself to a match.
Yeah, whether it be a one-on-one match, triple threat match, where the case may be, and as we'll get to here in our SmackDown recap, now that this good bloodline versus bad bloodline story is really kicking into gear, you got to assume The Rock's involved in that in some capacity. Now, I guess the possibility, slim, but possibility exists if they want to get these stories told. The Rock says, I can't really do Mania. Would they work around his schedule and not have these matches at WrestleMania?
Dude, I mean, I would be shocked. It's WrestleMania.
No,
Like,
I know, but it's a situation where they're like, well, we got stuff we got to get done. We can't wait another year to do Cody Roman Rock. So, all right, Rocks, when's your next availability? Payback it is, you know.
I mean, there's always the weirdness of the Saudi shows because they're willing to plunk down just like a whole shit ton more money. Perhaps I'd be skeptical that they do a morning rock show, to be honest with you. SummerSlam just ain't.
But I don't know. There was like last year, there was that show in Australia. People were like, "Oh, The Rock's gonna be there for that."
Yeah, and I was one of them, and afterwards I realized how silly of an idea that was. You know, like, no, it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. That's like the big thing. They bust out the nice cameras for the promos for WrestleMania.
They do.
But yeah, so I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just there's something weird about he shows up for Bad Blood, and then it's like put out to the dirt sheets, you know, that he's not going to be at WrestleMania.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense because if there was no plans for him to be at WrestleMania, what reason is there for him to be at Bad Blood if not to reinsert himself in what's going on?
And dude, you know, this is one of the points I made on Wrestle Juice, and let me throw to you here. Let me ask you. You and I, we did, I think recently, this past week on our other channel, Friendo Club Wrestling, we do short form content. This is the podcast channel. We talked about who would be dethroning all the current WWE champions. You and I both landed on the same thing for Cody Rhodes, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
Look, it's wrestling. You can write somebody to be a major player to take the title off Cody. That being said, he beat the Bruno of our era. It ain't going to be a Randy Orton or a Kevin Owens or even like a Solo Sikoa. Roman, they've already done that. I have no doubt they'll probably do it again, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Who else really
for Cody at Mania?
For Cody at Mania, but even to beat Cody for the title.
I had an idea about that. I was
it.
thinking about that today after reading this thing about The Rock not being at Mania. I like what the backup plans could be. Now, in some ways, it would make sense if let me kind of cross over into something that happened on SmackDown tonight to give kind of like the full-fledged answer. So given what happened on SmackDown tonight and Jimmy's argument he made to Roman about we need help. Of course, Roman, he's talking about Jay. Roman, no yeet.
Well, no yeet.
No yeet. So what if Roman is stubborn about that? And the timing, I don't know if it quite works. But essentially, between now and War Games, he and Solo have a match. Maybe it's on SmackDown. And again, numbers overwhelm Roman, good bloodline. Roman loses to Solo. They put the Ulafala on the line or just the match, whatever. That leads to Roman saying to Jimmy, all right, yes, I agree with you now. Yeet, we need Jay.
Yeet.
So they start building the War Games team.
Yeah.
Long story short. Then you do Roman Solo for the Ulafala again at Mania. Roman gets the Ulafala back. That makes sense. They wouldn't do this. But in the event that The Rock's not going to be at Mania, I honestly think the match that makes the most sense for Cody is CM Punk. Punk gets his main event. He wins the Rumble. You know, let's assume he has a match against Gunther sometime this fall, loses that. They do the program with Seth, you know, after that. So Punk's Mania is open. He wins the Rumble, challenges Cody. That's a money match to headline
it's a money
WrestleMania.
match. It's a money match. Punk is huge. Punk is huge now. Kids love Punk.
They do. I mean, I'm number one CM Punk fan right here.
Right there, just like you were in 2011. We have Dang MQ here in our Twitch chat saying Cena as well. They could market that. They could market that. They can market the shit out of that. Absolutely. I like that option. I like CM Punk as an option. I think that'd be great. I'd be curious, and I don't think they would have to. I don't think they'd have to mess with the with the heel face dynamic thing. Did you notice? I saw this like really like super throwaway. O'Shea Jackson's new podcast under the Rich Eisen banner had Punk on as their first guest, and he was talking about Punk as a heel, and Punk said something like, "Hit me up in 6 months."
Yeah, give me 6 months.
Yeah. Punk is always great as a bad guy.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Whether or not I feel like the fans would probably love him even more as a bad guy because he just does cool shit.
Yeah.
That being said, it would be a lot of fun to explore that. Could you imagine if the wise man Paul Heyman got back with CM Punk for another heel run? Oh my God.
Be a lot of fun.
That could be huge. And Heyman would want to get involved in that Mania main event. That'd be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are options out there. But yeah, I'd be really surprised given just how entertaining it was last year. If The Rock wasn't involved in WrestleMania. And like I said, the timing here it feels like politics are being played. If you're Meltzer, you gotta be pretty happy that somebody got this info to you because it's like, oh, I'm still the guy. It's not like, but yeah, I don't know. Stay tuned because this ain't gonna be the end of it. This ain't gonna be the end.
Not at all. No. You gotta expect more developments. Isn't I don't want to get to spoiler territory. Anyways, let's move.
What was that?
No, just something happens on Raw, the one they taped.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Probably best not to do that. Hold on a second. Hey, would you stop it? Anyways, let's go ahead and pay some bills, Larson. What do you say?
Let's do it. This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by BetterHelp. Halloween is almost here, Steve. It's the time of year where we have some fun with what scares us. But what about those fears that don't involve ghosts and ghouls? Sometimes the scariest thing is not facing your fears in the first place. But therapy is a great tool to help you face those fears and find ways to overcome them.
And if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. BetterHelp is completely online and designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. All you got to do to get started is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
Back in my mid-20s, I was afraid of a lot. Because I was dealing with severe anxiety, so much so that I barely left the house. Eventually, I realized that I had to go to therapy. Therapy helped me learn the skills I needed to better cope with my anxiety and allow me to get back out into the world and not be so fearful. So overcome your fears with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/raw today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/raw. And let's get a word from our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Steve, I'm going to send some words your way.
Oh, nice.
React.
Okay.
TD. Tutty. In for 6.
Wow.
Touchdowns. Yeah, touchdowns.
Yeah.
Touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
And regardless of how you refer to them or how they're scored, we want to bet on touchdowns, and DraftKings Sportsbook is delivering. So if you're ready to place your first bet, you can bet on something simple like, I don't know, choosing a player to score a touchdown. All you got to do is go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick.
That's right. Speaking of touchdowns, I'm hoping my Eagles score a lot of them this upcoming Sunday. They're currently favored against the Cleveland Browns. And while lines and odds are subject to change, I'm going to start practicing the Eagles fight song. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Whoa.
What?
That's not the time or place for that.
No, all right. So I could sing Fly, Eagles,
You're
fly.
just going to jinx yourself, man.
Every time they score a touchdown. So score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the Sportsbook app and use code RAW. That's code RAW for new customers. Get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms, responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. Turn into some Ron Burgundy there.
It's Friday, man.
It's Friday, man.
It's Friday. Friday. Let's talk about SmackDown now. We're going to do things a little bit different.
Yeah.
Today. Our review, our recap.
We had lunch. We had our annual shareholders meeting.
Yeah. / personnel review. Yeah.
we
all tens across the board for both of us.
Yes. We had.
Guess what? 0.5% raise.
Yeah. Woo! Unless our views go down, then 2%. You know. Yeah. No. We had some time, and basically, like the conversation was, what do you not like doing? And one thing that we both kind of thought about was the way we recap the show. Now, generally speaking, this is actually not going to be too far from what we usually do, because usually all this big story beats and whatnot, we talk about them in a pretty lengthy manner before we start doing the nitty-gritty recap of things. Well, the one thing that we thought of was like, it gets kind of dry when we're doing stuff where we're kind of reiterating what we've already talked about. And then when we try to like verbatim read these promos, it turns into like a fucking table read. And so instead, we're just going to have a conversation about everything that happened, but we're just not going to do it in, sort of like step-by-step recap.
Yeah, it's not going to be the chronological order of the show.
Right, exactly. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll toss some time codes in for these things.
There you go.
So if there's like, stuff that you want to hear us talk about, you can just skip to that, because we're
exactly
friendly.
So we'll try it. If people en masse say no good, then maybe we'll reevaluate. But until then,
there's always going to be a couple who are like,
oh, well, that's why I said en masse.
Right,
so
and keep that in mind, people en masse.
Yeah, it's full-fledged revolt, then open that discussion. But until then, we're going to give this a try. This is probably more so for TV reviews and recaps. It's hard to do something like this for pay-per-views.
Oh, yeah, because not a lot of promos and stuff. Yeah, those are just matches.
The old way we did things anyways. So, bad bloodline versus good bloodline. Right at the 4. A story on SmackDown. Open the show with Jimmy and Roman. And so Jimmy sets things up by saying, I've been out for 6 months. Put on the shelf by my little brother, Solo. Says, well, I'm sitting at home. I'm thinking this fool didn't have the balls to take me out face to face. He had his new crew do it. Says, tonight I got a match against Solo, and I plan on kicking your ass.
Yeah.
Roman's music hits. Steve, put your ones up for your tribal chief.
Who specifically? Can you name
your
the person, please?
Tribal chief? However you define that.
There's only one definition. It's Roman Reigns.
Then that's your tribal chief.
Roman Reigns.
For heaven's sakes, this is crystal clear. I don't know why you make such a production about this every time.
I believe that what you're doing is called gaslighting, and I don't appreciate it.
No, it's not.
You already broke my friggin' ankle off today.
I don't tell you. Playing pretty good today.
Anyways, continue.
I really should have. I should have taken the first half of the second game basically off. I'm kind of kicking myself about that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyways, Roman's music hits. He comes to the ring and says, "We don't usually do this, but Greensville, South Carolina, acknowledge him." And so he's not satisfied.
Roman's in such a chill mood tonight.
Oh, he is. He's not satisfied with the response. He's like, come on, turn it up. Join me in acknowledging Big Jim.
Big Jim. You call him Big Jim.
So then Jimmy puts his hand out like he wants the mic. Roman just gives him a high five. So this is very chill Roman. But anyways, Roman goes on and says, I'm not an older brother. I don't understand this need for revenge. I'm not a wise man yet. I don't come up with the plans. I'm the tribal chief. I take what's mine. Mm-hmm. That's what we did for 4 years. We ran this place. We had it all. We had all the titles. We had all the money. And I don't like where we're at right now. I don't like my position. I don't like not being in control. I told you I was the greatest of all time, and I meant that. So when we step in the arena, I want you to know that the GOATs are here. We put up these ones. We are the ones. But then Jimmy brings it down.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, keeps it real.
He does. Says, but we're not, though. We're in this ring. I see a chief with no tribe. You ain't got the Ulafala. At Bad Blood, I came back because you needed me. You didn't ask. You needed help. We need help, and I know one person that we can get to help us, Oos.
He
So the
said we
crowd
don't.
starts-
He says we don't have the numbers, and the crowd knows exactly who
Oh yeah.
he's talking about. Yeet.
Yeet.
Well, they start yeeting. Jimmy understands that they're yeeting. What does Roman Reigns say, Larson?
No yeet.
No yeet.
No yeet.
So
And
Jimmy
Jimmy says,
continues.
yeah.
He says, "Listen to me. You'll forever be my tribal chief, but I'm the only one in the family that still acknowledges you." And Jimmy pats Roman on the shoulder, leaves the ring, while Roman is left to ponder. So now we are on the road to Roman enthusiastically saying, "Yeet."
Yeah, and they got about 6 weeks to get there.
Yeah, which is plenty of time, by the way. Like
Yeah.
they could milk this thing, because on Raw now we're gonna get Jay's reaction to this, and it's gonna be like no reaction. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, the Bad Bloodline are gonna be doubling down on beating the shit out of Roman and Jimmy.
Which I thought they did a good job tonight of actually making Solo look like a force to be reckoned with in the ring. It was his best match he's had in a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
He got the win. Yeah, in terms of making Bad Bloodline a force to be reckoned with, I actually thought they did pretty good tonight. So let's take a look at the timeline here. Earlier I said you could do Roman Solo 1 on a SmackDown, but I guess there is Crown Jewel coming up here early November. You could do it there, I believe, because Roman's not doing anything.
Yeah, he's got to be in Saudi. They're paying big money for Roman.
So you could do that match there. Bad Bloodline costs Roman the match. Solo gets to keep the Ulafala. You revisit that if necessary, if you need to. You keep that in your back pocket for Mania. But if Dwayne, he's locked in for Mania, then you could do that. I don't know, the Rumble, something like that.
Mm-hmm, yeah, right.
Do the rematch between Solo and Roman. I guess you've been, thinking about the idea of Roman and Jimmy possibly beating Tama Tonga Loa for those tag titles.
Yeah.
And, if you have Jay sign up for War Games, bringing Sammy with them, well, you could put the Raw tag titles on them, and all 4 members of Good Bloodline team has tag championships.
I think that the idea of Jay, and I've talked about this before here, the other channels, Jay being very reluctant to help his family because he's out, he's good, he's happy. That's what a lot of people just don't realize how earned the Yeet era is for Jay Uso. Because they're like, oh, he's not the same Jay Uso. Yes, he's the same person who has now been freed from the terror that was being under Roman's thumb. And it's celebratory, and that's where the Yeet comes from. It's the most earned catchphrase that I've ever seen in pro wrestling. That's why people love him. They experienced the trauma with him, and now they get to celebrate his freedom with him and his success. And look at what success he's had so far. Mm-hmm. And so he will not want to revisit that. That ain't my business anymore. Sammy's got to be the one to get into his ear and say, Oos, this is family. You need to go. And Jay's got to say, I'll go, but you're going with me. And Roman embracing Sammy. It's going to be huge when he embraces Jay, but it's going to be huge when he embraces Sammy. Mm-hmm. That's going to blow. When he says yeet, that's going to blow the goddamn roof off the place, wherever they happen to be.
Yeah.
That's going to be really, really good stuff.
Yeah. If they do this right, they could wrap up Jay's feud with Braun into it too. And essentially have Bad Bloodline be the reason Jay loses the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
All the more reason for Jay to get involved. It's not just family at that point. Family is a huge thing, obviously, but now Bad Bloodline is a threat to his individual success.
Well, you can make it a thing where they're preemptively trying to keep him away, and in doing so, they commit a tactical error.
Bringing him in.
Bringing him in. It's like, hey, here's a warning shot. Idiot Braun Breaker ends up with that title. Yeah! And then Jay's like, oh, so that could get it. That could rope him in as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot you could do with that.
And I guess you can't dispel the notion that in the event that Sammy's not fourth man on good bloodline team that it could be Cody, because there was a bit backstage between Jimmy and Cody during the show as well, where Cody thanks him for the help on Saturday, and Jimmy says, "Consider it a favor, but don't expect any more." And then Cody's like, "Hey, the Solo you're going to face tonight is not the same Solo that kicked you out of the bloodline 6 months ago." And Jimmy's like, "It's family business, but the looks of it, you've been handling your business too." And he taps WWE title and walks off.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. I think that'd be the wrong story move.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you already have people bitching about Cody getting involved with the bloodline stuff. And Cody's got a ton on his plate right now. He's got in a macro sense, SmackDown was firing tonight, man. I thought that it was good. It had that sense of urgency that we get from Raw, or at least 3-hour Raws. And tonight I feel like it had that. If you could bring all those ingredients and add that extra hour in January, then I think that it'll be palatable. It'll be like, okay, cool, I'm down with this.
Yeah. I mean, it helps that they have, and it's the same thing with Raw. You know, whatever the A story, if the A story is hitting,
yeah, true,
it helps the show.
And dude, that's the thing about Solo and his bloodline that I honestly think, you know, and I guess it could be debated as to whether or not it's been a misfire or if it's been the right move, but not knowing or not being more familiar with the dynamic of the crew vis-a-vis backstage segments like we used to get with the original bloodline. On one hand, it sort of, it prevents, I think, the general audience from emotionally attaching themselves to them, because once you start doing that and you see their chemistry, you start to like them.
Yeah.
And I understand that's not what you want. Because when you see Roman and Jimmy in there, all that history, I mean, you know, regardless of their family history, the history that we've been witness to, it's there.
Yeah.
It's earned, it's lived. And it's just why people immediately take to these guys. They get into the ring and it's like, man, I'm eating this up. And all of a sudden the bloodline stuff, it's back.
Yeah.
Putting Cody's got a lot on his plate. With Sammy getting through the Gunther thing, he's at a low.
Yeah.
He's got to get something that's going to pick him up, and revisiting this stuff could be his calling. It could be his, you know, hey, I'm going to try to repair this family. And part of that, he might not realize that part of that is him getting involved physically with them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Sammy being the fourth man makes too much sense. Like, they have
to. It really
do
does. Yeah, it does.
So we did get a Solo promo where he just says, "Jimmy, you're looking for revenge late tonight." He says, "You may be my big brother, but tonight I'm your tribal chief. You will acknowledge me." Steve, put your one up for your tribal chief.
Now you're clearly just asking me to put my one up for Solo Sikoa, and I'm mildly offended at that.
You know, anytime that the words tribal chief come across our notes, I just say, put your ones up for your tribal
discerning, chief. Just a little more discerning. I can't put it up for Solo
Your
Sikoa.
Tribal chief. You define that. It's crystal clear.
It's so ambiguous.
It's not. I've said it many times.
You have muddied the waters
You define
of the tribal
chief.
Mine.
Your tribal chief is.
Okay, well, I'm not going to do it on the heel of a Solo promo. Because then people might get the wrong idea that I'm putting my one up for Solo Sikoa. Speaking of which,
I feel like
he was in the main event.
Who your tribal chief is. So.
Okay. Let's move on to the main event. It was Solo Sikoa. Larson's tribal chief, evidently.
I didn't say that.
Versus Jimmy Uso, who actually I wish would have become tribal chief. I would have been throwing big ones up. Remember when Jimmy was trying to be tribal chief?
Yeah.
And it was a clown show?
He was our tribal chief during that whole stretch.
I'd like to think he was our tribal chief.
We had said our tribal chief, Jimmy Uso. Put your ones up for Jimmy.
He didn't even have the Ulafala, though.
Nope. So this is, you expect the numbers advantage here for Solo. He takes advantage of numbers advantage and gets the win. Tama distracts the ref so Jacob Fatu could trip up Jimmy when he goes to the top rope. Solo hits Spike, gets the win. Bloodline attacks Jimmy. Roman comes out to make the save. Eventually, though, Bad Bloodline get the upper hand, and Solo hits Roman with the Spike. Jimmy gets back in the ring next to Roman and says, "We need a moose." DJ.
How many weeks do you think Roman Because you said we have 6 weeks. What
6
week?
or 7 weeks.
What week is he going to say yeet?
So it's going to be after he loses to Solo at Crown Jewel.
Oh.
Because then it's like, all right, I don't get the Ulafala, which he needs.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts. That hurts that he doesn't have the Ulafala, that he is a chief without a tribe, as Jimmy said tonight.
Yeah, that's the bigger. That means more to him than Cody's title. Yeah,
I think at this moment, yes.
absolutely.
So he needs that. Needs to get that back. And if he fails at doing that at Crown Jewel, then he realized that he has to reform in full Good Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yes, he needs help.
Yeah.
He needs the numbers.
Boy, that chemistry is going to be off the charts.
So that's three? Yeah, about 3 weeks from now is Crown Jewel. So week 5.
Week 5. Okay.
Week 5.
I'm going to go week right before the go home. I think it's going to be the go home.
All right.
Whatever
that makes sense
whatever that SmackDown is. We're not going to know until
the day
go
before.
home. And that yeet's going to explode the place. Because every week, Jimmy's going to be prodding Roman. Come on, yeet. No yeet.
Oh, for the yeet. I thought you meant when Jay is going to rejoin. No, yeah, it's going to be right before. It's going to be right before.
I feel like they're one and the same.
That could be.
I think when Jay joins, his affirmation of being back in is going to be Roman yeeting. That's what it's going to be.
That could be. Let's talk about.
Before we talk about Kevin Owens, man, we've got this Wrestle Dream thing going on tomorrow. Our predictions for the Wrestle Dream pay-per-view available right now over at the Friendo Club Wrestling YouTube channel. You can check that out right now. Today, we reacted to Dave Meltzer's star ratings for Bad Blood. I was in the hot seat. And by the way, quick shout out, I think it's Parts Fun Known. They had a survival series with Dave Meltzer on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good stuff. It was every WCW champion. It was pretty good.
How did Dave do?
Didn't win. Came close.
Interesting.
Didn't win.
You have to name an order or just name them?
No, I didn't have to put him in order, no. There was one name that I thought was going to put him over the top. That I was like, oh, what? That's okay. Because they included the WCW International title.
Oh, so you'd include Rude and yeah.
Let's see if you know the other name.
Didn't Vader win that one?
No, he won the regular one. Hiroshi Hase.
Wow. Yeah, I got that.
I know, right? So go check that out. It's good stuff. Hopefully, I'm sorry I've spoiled the fact that he didn't win. My bad. In any event. True World Order here is in chat saying the winner, so whatever. In any event, it's really entertaining stuff. It's really funny stuff. But no, we've got, of course, our live reactions to Wrestle Dream tomorrow going down. We're going to be on around 4:45 Pacific, 7:45 Eastern, 15 minutes before the pay-per-view. Part of that, of course, we've got our Big Blue Predictions Challenge. That's right. It's the second event in a 2-event series where we will crown a new Big Blue Predictions champion, or True World Order will retain his title.
No, it's not. It's Champ Fear and Loathing's champion.
Champ Fear and Loathing. Sorry. True World Order's person in chat spoiling stuff. Sorry, I get these names mixed up sometime. Champ Fear and Loathing is currently the champion, but you could become champion. Get this big blue hat right here.
Ooh, I want that hat.
Just fell over there. And you could do that by going to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Clicking on the Friendo Club setup, it's $5 a month, or you can click join right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson. It's $5 a month. The predictions form is available right now. Granted, if you didn't do this for the first event, chances are you're not going to have enough points to win the entire thing, but you can put us all on notice. You can put us all on notice, making a statement, clearing out, just doing aces. Perfect score. People will be like, who's this new guy or gal?
I mean, there's 10 matches plus 7 prop bets.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done the math, but maybe it's possible if you get everything right.
Talk about putting people on notice. And there are some real curveballs.
There are. So, I again, I have to do the math, but maybe it's possible. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I don't know. Anyways, also, engagement.
Yeah. Leave comments.
We're asking for engagement here, specifically on the YouTube, on the VOD. So if you could, please hit that thumbs up. That's great. Engagement helps the video do well in the YouTube algorithm. Also, comments. comments. So tell us, who's to be the fourth man? Good bloodline team for War Games. Be Sammy, it'd be Cody. Someone we're not even thinking of.
Could be.
Zillafatu. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Ikaleu.
Ikaleu. Could be Ikaleu.
So, let us know what you think. Comments, please. Thank you, everybody. Let's talk about Kevin Owens. So, they're really trying to keep this attack on Cody all hush-hush.
Yeah.
An internal matter. So, no one can really talk about it. Commentary, backstage. Even Kevin Owens was suspended and fined for his attack. And so he barges in while Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson are making their entrance.
What a heel move that is. You know, they get
for Triple H to book it in that fashion rather than have him come out at some other point. Yes, I agree. The match was short as it was, and they took time. I understand it's like an important story beat for Kevin Owens' story and Cody Rhodes' story and Randy Orton's story.
Yeah.
But I feel like it took time from the women's tag match, and it was kind of lame.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted them to get their full entrance. I don't know if the match was ever going to go more than 5 minutes, but gosh, give them more of an entrance, man.
I know.
Let them do their whole entrance at least.
I know.
But anyways, I mean, the one aspect I liked about it, and I agree, do it some other time. But I like that it added a sense of, it's like, oh, he's not supposed to be here, kind of thing. I like that they're running with that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that aspect of it, but there is another opportunity somewhere else in the show where they could have done it. So Kevin Owens gets in the ring with a mic and says, I was told not to come here tonight. People keep asking me why I turned on Cody. I didn't turn on Cody. Cody turned on, but before he could finish the sentence, his mic gets cut off. So he walks to commentary, puts on a headset and says, Cody turned on me. Well, this brings out Cody. He comes down the ramp, being held back by security. And then Randy Orton comes out and calms down Cody. And then gets in the ring. And tries to do the same with Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens gets right in his face. So Orton instinctively pushes him. And then tries to hold him back after he's going after Cody. Well, Owens, maybe thinking it's just security guard, elbows him. Well, then Orton turns Owens around and punches him right in the face. Mm-hmm. And the way that Owens and Orton sold all that was really good.
It was really good, yeah.
Like
and the crowd, the collective, oh, when that happened was good.
Yeah, because Orton instantly felt guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Owens was pretty shocked, but he was hurt. Not talking physically. Emotionally, he was hurt.
He had cry face. No, he totally did. Yeah.
Because then later on, when he attacks Randy in the parking lot, he says, oh, Randy, are you going to choose sides now? You chose the wrong side. So I don't know if Kevin Owens necessarily expected, seemingly he did, Orton to side with him, given all the bloodline has done to Randy Orton, much like all the bloodline has done with Kevin Owens.
A case could be made. He should. Yeah. I mean, they've been partners for how long now? For a long time.
For a while.
They have like a shirt together and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, man. Kevin Owens, absolutely. And I love that this is a truly motivated turn for Kevin Owens, where we're seeing the reasons why play out in front of us instead of just, oh my gosh, why did he do that suddenly?
The commentary's got to stop with, but Kevin Owens was about to explain why he turned on Cody. He's like, we all know why he turned on Cody.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We don't need him to explain.
Yeah.
It's right there. If you watch the show, you get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't need an explanation. But anyways. So later on the show, so Nick Aldis is, before that even. They're out in front of Cody's bus. He's still irate. Orton says, get on your bus, I'll handle Owens. And then Aldis says to him, hey, you got this match against Gunther at Crown Jewel in 3 weeks. We need you to focus on that match so you can bring Crown Jewel Championship home to SmackDown, where it'll never be seen.
No, they'll never see it.
Never see it.
Yeah. It'll be forgotten immediately.
And then Orton, yet again, tells Cody, get on the bus. I'll fix this. So he hands Cody his title.
Well, Randy Orton is also like the most intense person right here. And Cody's simmering, right? But Randy's like, look, man, you got to cool down. You got to calm down. And I'm like, Randy, you need to calm down right now, man. You're turning purple.
I feel like he's amplifying the emotions there.
He is. It's like, your dog's barking. You start yelling at your dog. They want to bark more.
Exactly. Instead of talking to the dog calmly.
Yeah, right, exactly.
which will hopefully then calm the dog
Trying
down.
to reason with dog, with logic.
Yeah, no, dog, listen to me. Understand you feel threatened right now by whatever noise you heard half a mile away.
Right.
That being said, this house is the safest place on this planet for you, dog.
Dog, let me explain the concept of distance to you.
Squeaky brakes you heard
Right.
3
Around
blocks down the
corner.
street are not going to affect you. I might be speaking from experience here.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Cody gets back on the bus, and Aldous says to Randy Orton, the voice of reason. Who'd have thought?
That was fun. That was cool.
fun.
I like that. Yeah, that was good. So later on, Aldous is just listening to the Street Profits and DIY just argue and bicker. And then he notices something going on behind the camera. He rushes over there, and apparently Randy Orton tried to talk to him. Kevin Owens beat the shit out of him because he's sitting there just putting the boots to Randy Orton. Security has to come in and take him away. So yeah, I mean, dude, is this going to be Kevin Owens versus Orton before we get to Kevin Owens versus Cody?
Seems
Is
like
Orton going to end up blaming Cody? Like I said, Cody's got a lot on his plate because somehow, some way, this is going to turn Randy Orton into Cody Rhodes' opponent as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Cody will try to get involved again and do something to Orton. Orton's like, all right, that's enough. I've
Cody's a meddler. He can't
He is.
leave well enough alone.
No. Nope. Let's move on to the Women's Championship. So, Nia had a promo tonight that led to a match against Naomi. But before that, she was making the pitch to Tiffany at Crown Jewel that after she beats Liv Morgan, then it's Tiffy time. And the way she does this is she's dropping a really calm promo in the ring, and Tiffany is just standing there. Mm-hmm. And then she says, I'm going to annihilate Liv when I'm finished and become the first women's Crown Jewel champion. Then she reaches over to Tiffany and puts her in a headlock.
Yeah.
And says to her, it's Tiffy time. Then
she's like
you cash in.
Laughing maniacally kind of while she's doing it. Yeah.
Then you cash in on Liv Morgan.
Yeah, and Tiffany is like there's no pitch here. It's just bullying her into
That's 1,000%
this is what you're gonna do. And it was kind of awesome. It was kind of great. And Tiffany's doing a great job playing the intimidated, person here. And that was really good. Liv Morgan does show up and she's like, hey, I'm gonna watch you lose this match being ringside. So we're starting to get a little bit between them. Naomi showed up, said, Nia, you and I are the only one. The only reason the title is still on your shoulder because you broke down Barbie, helped you again. So you can't win without your sidekick. She's not even a good one because I pinned her last week just like I pinned you. And Naomi says, I remember that it took 2 of you to pin me. Are you out here to challenge me one-on-one? Or are you going to find a partner? And Naomi says, I don't need anybody. I can beat you right now. So that Nia says, bring out a ref. And then a ref comes out. But that's when Liv shows up. She's got Raquel and Dom with her. And then Liv says, we came here to make an example out of you, Nia, but it seems like you have your hands full. So we're going to watch from ringside as you lose tonight, just like you're going to lose to me at Crown Jewel. Nia gets pissed off, shoves Naomi, and they start their match. And they actually gave plenty of time for this match.
Yeah, this match was really good. It was really, really good. But Liv and Raquel end up costing Nia the match. So at one point, towards the end, Naomi goes up top. There's a couple great spots where Nia hits a hip attack on Naomi against the ring post, and then later on, Naomi kicks Nia's head into the ring post.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the finish, Naomi goes up top. Nia hits her. So Naomi tumbles off the top rope to the mat. So Nia positions her for Annihilator, goes to the second rope. Raquel distracts the ref. So then Liv gets the Money in the Bank briefcase. After Naomi had laid out Tiffany earlier, Liv gets the briefcase, hits Nia with it a couple times, and then Naomi hits powerbomb on Nia to get the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So shortly after the match ends, Rhea's music hits. She rushes out. She starts fighting with Raquel, throws in the barricade. So Liv and Dom are kind of between the foot of the ramp and the ring. So Liv sees Rhea running down the ramp, so she turns around and gets in the ring. Well, Nia's still there. Nia's about to lay out Liv, and then Rhea gets in the ring and kicks Nia, hits Liv with some grounded pound, and then Dom ends up pulling Liv out of the ring.
Yeah. A lot going on there.
There was a lot
especially
going on.
Rhea ended up booting Nia. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's. I mean, look, Liv showed up on SmackDown. No doubt, Nia's going to show up on Raw. I would imagine on Monday.
Yeah. Edub makes a good point that Naomi did do the Gunther pin on Nia.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a very effective pin.
It is.
Putting your entire body
doesn't
weight.
do it anymore.
Yeah. After that, so let's talk about. I shouldn't say after that because we're not doing things chronologically.
Order.
I need a new segue, man. New segue. All right, let's talk about LA Knight and the United States title scene, Larson.
Let's do that. So he had a match against Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title. Now Melo lost relatively clean. I mean, Andrade was ringside to kind of distract him.
Andrade looked like $1 million. That's a hell of a distraction right there. He's got like highlights in his hair now. He had a really nice looking suit.
His hair is like super long now too.
I'd be distracted by him too.
Yeah, he's a handsome man.
He's a handsome dude.
And that suit was really nice. The finishing sequence was really good because they were countering each other's finishers.
Yeah, that was cool.
In the end, LA Knight's looking for a belly-to-back suplex. Melo flips out of it, lands on his feet, and LA Knight hits the BFT right away.
Nobody sells that thing like Melo, by the way.
He just plants himself right on the top of his head.
And I love that he did the reversal on that where he just sort of does a handstand instead.
Handstand, yeah.
That was awesome.
That was great.
Yeah, this was a fun match.
So Melo is watching LA Knight celebrate, so he's kind of sitting against the commentary table. So Andrade, who was watching the match ringside, walks over to Melo and says, "Put the fries in the bag."
Mm-hmm.
Melo didn't like that.
No, man, because that's what he said to him.
Later on, Melo walks up to Nick Aldis and is like, "What's the deal? I beat AJ clean. I get my match, but then Andrade can come ringside and distract me. Make that make sense." And then Aldis just completely pivots to Melo and Andrade's feud, not mentioning LA Knight yet. He says, "You two are tied up 3-3. It's time for Game 7. Winner may be in line for a U.S. title shot."
Mm-hmm.
So Melo leaves, not happy. So Legado walks up to Nick Aldis. And Santos ain't happy about Melo and Andrade being in the U.S. title picture and not himself. And Aldis says, "Well, you had a title shot. You came short. I'm waiting for you to bounce back." Santos says, "Well, it's not just about me. What about Elektra? What about Los Garza?" And Aldis says, "Los Garza has a match next week against a team that I personally selected. So if they win that, maybe they'll get a title shot down the line."
Mm-hmm.
Yes, later on we figured out Motor City.
Motor City.
I mean, it literally said MCMG and like got flashed up there in the video package.
It happened very quickly. I didn't notice on Twitter if anybody screenshotted it, but I was like, "Oh, I see an MC and an MG there." You think you're actually going to say Motor City Machine Guns, or there's just going to be MCMG?
It could be the latter.
Yeah,
Could be the latter.
I think they've allowed. Haven't they let Gallows refer to Anderson as the Machine Gun on NXT sometimes?
I think so.
Maybe.
Has Carl done his machine gun entrance in WWE? I feel
That's
like
another good question. I'm not sure. I want to say he has.
Maybe he's only done that in Impact. I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe.
Or
I don't
AEW.
know.
I don't recall.
So somebody earlier asked, now that we're talking about the United States title scene, speaking of AJ Styles, he's legitimately hurt.
Yeah, apparently he's got a foot sprain.
A mid-foot ligament tear? Something like that?
Yeah, maybe something like that.
I think
It's
that's
foot
what
injury.
I read. Yeah, it's a foot injury. Yeah.
Foot injury. So depending on the severity,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard any prognosis about how long he's going to be out. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's sad. That's sad.
It's a bummer.
It's a bummer, though. Back. Yeah.
So we talked about the women's tag title match. It was Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, one half of Metaphor in NXT, taking on the champions Bianca and Jade. So Lash and Jakara did get a video package before the match, kind of introduced themselves, the main roster audience. So they've been handling their business in NXT, but now they're coming for the women's tag titles.
Yep.
So after the interruption by Kevin Owens, go to commercial, we come back. Trick Williams sitting ringside. And then Chelsea and Piper are standing near commentary. And like the whole match, Michael Coles is like, "Oh, Chelsea, you stink," from a match that happened a week ago.
Yeah.
Like, trash smell is not that pungent.
I mean, fresh, but like it's been a while. You'd think that the bacteria would have died down a little bit. Yeah.
Anyways, this match was pretty short. I mean, Lash and Jakara did have a strong showing early on. They dominated the early stretch of the match. Eventually, though, Jakara holds up Bianca for Lash, but then Chelsea gets in Lash's face and starts talking crap. So Lash hits her with the pump kick. Looks to hit one on Bianca. Instead, Bianca boots her. And then Jade and Bianca hit Jakar with their finisher for the win. You know what I'd like to see someday? And hopefully it'll happen soon. Is a match between Lash Legend and Jade Cargill. That's all pump kicks.
I love pump kicks. I mean, I spam them whenever I play WWE 2K with my character Steve Thunder. Pump kick is great. They both got amazing pump kicks, so I'm on board with that match. I think that'd be great. I like that there now is a reason for them to come back to SmackDown, or maybe probably more likely Chelsea and Piper will pay a visit to NXT.
Seems likely.
That being said, they look like $1 million on main roster, so I don't know if they're going to wait for Noam Dar, if they're all going to get called up like a group. I don't know, but yeah, man, I think they're pretty terrific.
Yeah, they
Trick
are.
Willie was there too.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And then in the tag division, of course, we mentioned that Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City.
Debuting on SmackDown next week. And then let's go back to the bit with Street Profits and DIY. We'll talk about this and we'll answer some questions. So the two teams are arguing, and Nick Aldis is standing in the middle of it all. He quiets them down and says, hey, that ladder match you had, unbelievable. But that was your shot. I got a new team coming in next week. He's like, you two teams, move aside.
Mm-hmm.
I got my new top contenders coming in next week. And so they just start arguing again.
Yeah, to be fair, they've had plenty of shots. They've had plenty of opportunities.
They have.
They're both already have been tag champions. You got the Motor City Machine Guns coming in. They're not exactly young, so you got to get a move on. It's like whenever I go, I'm out in my car and I see I'm like at a 4-way stop. Even if I get there like just before, if I see it's an old person, I'm just like, you need to go. All right, you got places to go because time's a ticking.
Yeah, all right. All right.
You got no response for that one?
No, not really.
You're like, screw you, old person, and you go even if you're first?
If I stop first, I go first. That's the law. That's the rules. If you start waving people through that weren't there first, then it's mayhem.
Well, it's mayhem.
And then the person across the way is like, oh, well, I stopped right after them. Now it's my turn. Then you're waiting at that stop sign.
No. Look. It's like people, like, oh, man, you look behind you at your grocery store, you got a whole cart like an asshole. You look behind you, you got one person with a magazine.
You let that person through, yeah.
Go ahead. But in your world, everybody behind you is asking to get ahead of you now. It's like, no, I let this one person through. Not everybody.
No, I know, but I'm saying the people that might not being as close, paying as close attention, see that person go, and they're like, "Well, I stopped right after them. That means it's my turn."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Because there's like laws and rules. There's like a way you go about doing things at a 4-way stop that you would, if you don't adhere to, chaos, mayhem,
like the Purge,
potentially accidents. That's not going to happen at the grocery store when you got a cart full of stuff and someone's behind you's got a thing of celery.
I've seen plenty of videos of people getting into it at the grocery store. It's a violent place, can be sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you get you go to a 4-way stop and you see somebody whose vibe is just, oh, I got to get somewhere. Hey, have at it. You go ahead and get whatever you got to do. It's all good. I'm in no rush. What do I got? I'm not rushing to go anywhere.
Oh, I drive like I got somewhere to be all the time.
Oh, I'm well aware. I've been in the car with you.
Yeah.
Oh man. Let's go and answer some questions. Hey, look
Smackdown.
At that. I'll be honest. I loved this. I think this was a great idea, great new way to do things. But I am gonna miss that feeling of, and then we had our main event, because then you just speed run that shit and then you're on the road home, man.
This is the first time going about things a new way.
Oh, I like the new way.
Adjustments. Maybe what we could do all that, but then save the main event for the end.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I could get used to this. I can get used to this.
All right. Let's answer some questions.
All right.
Mr. Sinister here says, do you guys think they should do Raw champions versus SmackDown champions at Crown Jewel, since they aren't doing it at Survivor Series anymore? Well, they're doing it with the top champs. Top men and women's champions for each show. So I guess that's probably what we're going to get. Oh, maybe they'll do mid-card champs and tag champs. I don't know.
I mean, considering they don't do dick with the tag team championships,
Steve says
I
a unification
hesitate.
match.
Yeah, I would love I would love a unification match. Yeah, absolutely. W.S. Fletcher says Knight Rider with Larson, super pursuit mode driving.
I don't drive like super fast. I don't drive faster than the flow of traffic. But
Well,
I drive like I got.
well, there's a caveat. I think you consider yourself the flow of traffic.
No, 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 no. I don't. I don't. I'm not zooming in and out. I don't do that.
You're not Hilton. That guy is always driving like he's got pee desperation.
Yeah.
My spirit animal is a Dorito says, "What's your favorite West Coast rap song from the '90s?"
Wow. Oh man. From the '90s specifically?
Yeah, West Coast rap.
Oh man.
Oh, I know mine.
It's a deep cover.
Oh fuck, that's a good one. Deep cover's really good. Mine's Mr. Grimm's Indo Smoke.
Oh, that is a good one. That is a really good one. That is a really good one. I got to think of it. Give me a second. I'll circle back to that one.
Now you know inside. Jabroni Town says, if you had to describe Roman's title reign in the Pop-Tart metric, how many Pop-Tarts would it span?
Like the whole manufacturing process at the Pop-Tart plant.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Beginning to end.
It'd be all of them, obviously.
All the Pop-Tarts. Gorilla Mon says, do you think Jimmy should have won his return match? Or is it more...
the story they're telling, it would have made sense for him to win.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is cool. The blind cinephile, Javier, says, currently in the movies doing a double feature of the Christopher Reeve doc and Saturday Night. It's that Saturday Night Live movie.
Oh.
Just wondering what's been a weird double feature you guys have done in a theater. Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's been a while since I've had it, then I've been to a double feature.
Yeah, same.
Did you go or did we go to any weird double features? Because, in LA, they got all those cool, like, theme things. But I don't remember even.
Did you go with me or was it just Jeff and I that went to the Russ Meyer double feature?
That sounds like something I would have gone to.
Because we went to that and he was sitting right behind us.
Russ Meyer was?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And he had a blazer on, a shirt and tie, and I think either it was boxers or just a pair of shorts.
I would have remembered that. I did not go to that. I am so sad.
Because it was, I don't remember the first movie was.
I swear I went to a Russ Meyer screening of something, though.
I remember the first movie was. The second one was Faster Pussycat. Though.
Was the first one Valley of the Ultra Vixens?
It might have been.
Maybe
because then we rented that and we watched it at the apartment before. Because it's such
maybe
a weird
that's
movie.
just where I saw it then in our dirty apartment.
Movie.
Yeah, those are some fun movies. I'll tell you what. Oh man. Oh man.
So we need 90s West Coast hip hop.
Oh, okay, you got to choose one. I know you're trying to get obscure here.
No, I'm not trying to get obscure. I'm just trying to make sure
it's one, man. It's not at the top of your head. It's your favorite one. What's your favorite one?
It might be Gin and Juice.
Oh, good one. My favorite off the Chronic is Let Me Ride. I love that song. I love that song. But yeah, Snoop's first album was awesome too.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm surprised you should have chosen like a Devin the Dude track.
Oh man,
the $20,000 sack pyramid. John and Alistair Voice says, "What are some of your favorite wrestler cameos in shows and movies?"
Oh, it was when Terry Funk wrestled the dead wrestler in Unsolved Mysteries.
Number one, that was not Unsolved Mysteries. It was Fact or Fiction.
Oh, that's right. Fact
I
or
would
Fiction,
love
sorry.
if it was Unsolved Mysteries.
Sorry, I got my shows mixed up. Oh man.
Hey, Mr. Dope's been silent the entire time, and as soon as I mention Devin the Dude, this fool pops up. What's up, Mr. Dope? Nice to see you around these parts.
What's going on, Mr. Dope? Oh, man.
Oh, I'm laughing. Here we go. Dave Matushek says, with Punk versus McIntyre becoming Meltzer's 100th five-star match of the decade, do Do you think the 2020s serves as a gold mine for wrestling greatness?
Oh, the quality of the in-ring product has never been better than it is right now.
Never been better.
Never been better.
Ozzy Dragoon says, did that con man laugh all the way to the bank? Oh, that was Unsolved Mysteries.
Alex Foster here says, Larson, how would you get to convince Steve to turn on Cody after Cody eventually does you dirty?
If Cody did you dirty?
Yeah, then I'd have to convince you. You have my back.
I got your back.
If Cody did me dirty, you'd be the first one in line to jump Cody, right?
Look, dude, I'm a right guy. All right? Listen. Anybody even whiffs dirty at you, and I got your back. That's a fact, Jack.
Beer bottle over the head.
Oh, yeah, for sure. At least. Break it off of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Might get to that point. Absolutely. Let's see here. AJ Otani says, should Stratton cash in during the match at Crown Jewel to make a Tiffy triple threat for both belts? No. God, no. Unless it's like towards the finish of the match, he cashes in. It's a triple threat. There's too many factors at play. There's too much going on. Somebody might get the adrenaline rush.
Disc Golfing Goon says, apologies for bringing him up, but it's safe to say that Logan Paul's signing to WWE hasn't been as impactful a deal as they wanted it to be.
I don't know what metrics they use to determine that. I don't know. That being said, fuck that guy. I really don't want to see him on my television anymore.
Concurred.
Zach Likes Wrestling says, do you guys see Jimmy Uso ever getting the solo champion treatment? And if so, how do you see them going about it? I could totally see Jimmy getting the United States Championship if they book him in strong enough stories down the line in the same manner as Jey Uso. But Jay went through it with the bloodline, so it'd be difficult to replicate that. You wouldn't really want to do that. But the strength of personality, the strength of character is absolutely there. You just need to craft a really good story. They've worked their asses off to get Jay to where he's at.
Yeah.
So you just need this. You need the stories for it.
Not really a question, but Lonnie Lighthouse is asking, I guess this is a question. Have we seen the video of Ox Baker on The Price is Right in 1981? I have not seen that.
I have not seen that. That sounds fun, though. Let's see.
Luis Ariza says, is there a moment in the show that made you either stop or almost stop watching completely? I assume a wrestling show or just any show?
I mean, for us, dude, it was like Shayna Baszler, and Lily being in a feud that caused us to be like, we don't want to spend our Monday nights being grumpy talking about this shit. We're going to need to sleep on Raw from now on and approach it the next day.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure for stuff outside of wrestling, I'm sure. Like when I stopped watching wrestling in, 2004 or whatever it wasn't like there was one thing that turned me off on it per se. I mean, it was probably just, I just wasn't into it anymore, and that was that.
Can we expand that to like regular TV shows?
That's what I was thinking too. And I'm sure there's been an instance where I was watching a show, I'm like, all right, I'm just not into this anymore for a very particular reason, and stop watching.
I don't know. So like this, I don't know why this comes up top of my head. Ozark. I'm sure there was some story beat where I was like, man, I can't deal with these people anymore. They are too much. They're just making every possible bad decision. It's every time they have a chance to get out of their situation. They're like, no, we're going to stay in it. And I don't know why I was cool with that with Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad had such a great sense of humor to it. And Ozark was just, it had some humorous elements to it, but it was just really dark. And I was like, God, these people are so just dumb. Breaking Bad is great. You would really enjoy it, man.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I have the first season on Blu-ray. Still haven't seen it.
Hey, man, physical media, that's where it's at these days. Dr. Howie says, Rock versus Cody, title for title, merged to get the new Winged Eagle. Oh, what a great idea.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
That's kind of cool. I like that. That's a good idea.
Hey, here's another great 90s West Coast hip-hop song.
Okay.
Back to the Hotel.
Oh, In Too Deep.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get some new cock. Why did he say that?
I
don't know. Gotta get some new cock. Okay, cool, dude. It had that saxophone in it. Yeah, that was good.
Oh,
That was
Die Hard
awesome.
Homer says Humpty Dance. Oh yeah, give me the whole
That's great.
Digital Underground Sex Packets
Yeah,
album.
that's good
That's
stuff.
that's a great album.
Yeah, they're not West Coast though, are they? Digital
Yeah.
Underground? They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
Where are they out of?
Bay Area.
Oh, are they? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fuck. Why did I not know that? All right. Yeah. So, anyways, that's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hopefully, you'll join us tomorrow for Wrestle Dream, our live watch along and reactions to that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Next time.